Rumor let it be known that a Greek fleet replete with gallant soldiers was approaching. Its arrival, not unexpected, was observed by the opposing Trojans, who defended their shores and kept the enemy from landing. And you were the first to fall, Protesilaus, dispatched by Hector's spear. Those early fights cost the Greeks greatly as they came to know what skill brave Hector had at slaughtering. Nor were the Phrygians exempted from discovering how capably Achaeans butchered their enemies, and soon the shores grew red with blood. Now Cycnus out of Troy, the son of Neptune, cut his 1,000 down, and now Achilles and his chariot pressed on relentlessly against his foe, flattening ranks of Trojans with each thrust of his great spear, fashioned out of wood from a tree harvested on Pelion. And as he searched for Hector or for Cycnus, met with the latter on the battlefield, for Hector's fate had been postponed 10 years, then urging on his horses, whose white necks strained at the yoke, Achilles drove his chariot straight for the enemy, and shook his spear to threaten them, and cried, "Young man, whoever you might be, take consolation, dead, from knowing that your slayer is Thessalian Achilles." So spoke the hero, and his weighty spear followed directly on his utterance. But though his cast was nothing less than certain, the sharp point struck, and merely dinged the breast of his opponent without harming him. "O goddess-born," the other one replied, "for your celebrity has preceded you. Why do you marvel that we stand unscathed?" It was indeed a marvel to Achilles. "Neither the golden horsehair-crested helmet that you observe me wearing, nor the curved shield, the burden that I bear on my left side, serves any purpose other than adornment. Mars also, for this reason, puts on his armor. Deprive me then of my protective gear, and I'll still walk away from here unhurt. Breeding matters. It is good to be the son, not of a Nereid, but of the one who rules Nereus, his daughters, and the sea." He spoke and cast his spear at the Achaean, but it was fated just to strike him shield, tearing through bronze in 9 layers of hide, and lodging in the 10th.
He shook it off, and hurled another back with his strong hand, but once again did not inflict a wound on the undamaged body of his foe, nor did a third spear land on Cycnus. Although he offered himself openly, you will have seen a bull in the arena, who, with his terrifying horn, pursues the provocation of a scarlet cape, only to discover that he's missed it. Achilles, raging, was not otherwise. He checks his spear. Is the tip still on? It is. "My arm," he said, "that once was very strong, has lost its power, but only in this case? For surely, it was strong enough when I was first to breach the walls of Lyrinus, or when this arm dyed Cnidus and Thebes, Eetion cities, with the defenders' blood, or left with Cassius' swift current purple, from slaughter in the tribes along its shore, or when Telephus, twice, felt my spears left. And here as well, among so many dead, these heaps of corpses piled up on the shore, which I have made. This arm of mine has done, and still can do, its mighty work." He spoke as one who lacks all confidence in the heroic deeds of yesterday, and cast his spear directly at Munides, one of the rank and file from Lycia, and tore right through his armor and his breast. And as the dying foot soldier crashed down headlong upon the heavy earth, Achilles withdrew the spear from the hot wound, and said, "This is the hand, and this is the very spear with which I have just now gained victory, and which I will use on him in the same way, and hope to get the same result." So speaking, he found Cycnus in the fray. Unerring ash struck unevading shoulder, the left one, with a thud, then bounded off, as from a wall or from a solid cliff. Achilles saw that Cycnus had been bloodied where he had struck him, and rejoiced. In vain, there was no wound, it was Munides' blood. Then, truly outraged, roaring like a madman, Achilles left from his high chariot. His invulnerable foe, he drew his shining sword and closed with him. He noticed that although the other shield and armor had been punctured by his blade, it lost its edge on his unyielding body. Achilles could no longer endure this. With shield and sword hilt as his weapons, he assaulted him about the face and head, blow after blow, until, as one gives way, the other one pursues, protrudes, keeps pressing him, gives him no time to pull himself together. Fear seizes Cycnus, and his vision blurs. The path he flees on is obstructed by a boulder in the middle of the plain. As he lies with his back pressed hard against it, Achilles seizes him and whirls him around, and flings him heavily against the earth. Then, kneeling on his shield on Cycnus' breast, he strips the thongs that tied his helmet on, beneath the chin, and wraps them around his throat, and strangles him.